All right, this problem looks at the tax in a couple different cities for some hotel rooms. So the big things you see here is there are two equations we're going to make. So you see here they kind of made a table up. You're certainly welcome to do that. The big thing I would do first is I would define my x and y, because the goal of the problem is to figure out what is the total price for each hotel. So we'll say the hotel price in City 1 and the hotel price in City 2. That way it's going to give me two variables to kind of make the equations for those. You're certainly welcome to do the table, but the way I do is I typically say, all right, I know the second city was $1,500 lower than the first. So I can write an equation for that. That says the second city, which is y, was, so that's equals 1,500 lower than the first. So that's x minus 1,500. So this is one equation. The second hotel was $1,500 lower than the first. And this makes sense because if this is more expensive, to make them equal, I have to subtract $1,500 off of it. So that's equation 1. Equation 2 is going to deal with the tax, which is there's a total tax of $368.75. So I know for the first city, there's a tax rate of 6.5%. So to make my second equation, I'm simply going to do 0.065, because it's 6.5%, but with a percent, we want to make it a decimal, so I'll move it to the left. So I get 0.065. So 6.5% of whatever the total charge was for that hotel room, which I don't know, but I know is X. Secondly, I'm going to add that to the tax I paid in the second city, which is going to be 9% tax in that city. So that's 0.09 with the same logic of moving the decimal place over twice, times y equals the total tax of $368.75. So we have two equations here. Now, I do not like that they say to use the Alex calculator. That is not what I would do at all. I would just simply make this a problem about substitution. Because what you see here in the first one, it says y equals x minus 1,500. So I'm just going to replace the y with x minus 1,500. So I'm going to take the first equation and substitute it into the second. So what I'll end up with is 0.065x plus 0.09 times x minus 1,500 equals 368.75. And then I'll simply solve that. So first I'll distribute the 0.09. So I get 0.065x plus 0.09x minus 135 equals 368.75. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these two together. So 0.065 and 0.09 is going to be 0.155x. And then I'm going to add the 135 to the other side, just to get the x's by itself. So 135 plus 368.75 is going to give me 503.75. So then I'll simply divide by 0.155, and that will give me x. Now we have to figure out what x is. So x is 3,250, and what it is, x is the price of the hotel in City 1. So this is $3,250 is the price for City 1. Now City 2 was y, so the way we can find that is I had this equation, y equals x minus 1,500. So that's going to be y equals x minus 1,500. So that's 3,250 minus 1,500. So 3,200 minus 1,500 is 1,750. So $1,750 is the price for City 2. So set up my two equations, one based on the total price and one based on the tax. Substitute in, and then just solve for my two variables.